There was a time when Steve Rogers would have done anything to be able to fight for what's right, and he's come a long way since then. In Avengers Endgame, we were glad to see Steve survived, but he was clearly no longer able to fight all day like he used to. He happily handed over his shield, but many fans are stuck wondering why Steve named Sam Wilson the new Captain America instead of his best friend Bucky Barnes. Steve Rogers is a popular guy who's earned the respect and admiration of his fellow heroes during his time in the MCU. Even Tony Stark can't help but love him, despite the whole Winter Soldier killing his parents thing and Steve keeping it a secret thing. Thankfully, we got to see him squash that beef in Avengers Endgame. Tony and Steve may be pals and fellow Avengers, but we all know Steve's ride-or-die bestie is, and has always been, Bucky Barnes. These guys have been besties since long before they were superheroes, and they've been through some serious heavy stuff together. So it's kind of strange that we didn't see more of them together in Endgame. Yeah, we know the whole Bucky turning into dust and Infinity War thing had a lot to do with that, but still. Instead, we saw Sam Wilson flying into battle with a great on your left callback to Captain America the Winter Soldier. Bucky and Steve shared a nice don't do anything stupid moment before Steve went back through time to return the Infinity Stones to their rightful places in time. But that was about it. Then, when we saw old Steve Rogers with teeth that were magically still perfect, we wanted to talk to Sam and not Bucky. He handed over his shield and declared Sam the new Captain America while we assume Bucky cried quietly off screen. Like many notable Marvel movie moments, this one has a comic book precedent. In the comic books, Steve Rogers is sent to Dimension Z, a place ruled by Arnim Zola. Steve gets trapped there, and ultimately battles against a villain known as Iron Nail, who manages to neutralize the super soldier serum which made him Captain America in the first place. His body catches up to his actual age, and while his mind is still sharp, he's not able to keep up with the physical requirements of being a superhero. Instead, he becomes a tactical commander, passing his shield along to Sam Wilson. During his reign as Captain America, Sam does some things we'd really like to see in the MCU. He trains a new Falcon, and leads a new team of heroes in the fight against evil. But let's not forget that there was a time when Bucky Barnes was also named the new Captain America, but under wildly different circumstances. In the comic books, everyone believes Steve Rogers to be deceased, and Tony Stark encourages Bucky Barnes to fight crime in the name of Captain America. They agree it's important that Cap's legacy lives on, and Bucky gradually grows into the role. Eventually, Bucky is no longer able to continue that role, and it's not just because Steve turns out to be totally alive. His past as the Winter Soldier comes out, and let's just say the general public isn't as understanding as Steve Rogers. It's decided that Bucky has far too much baggage to be Captain America. This might sound crazy since Bucky Barnes is a hero too, but let's not forget that Captain America is more than just a guy in a suit. He's a symbol of virtue, freedom, and, well, America. That part is what all the stars and stripes are about. Iron Man may be able to pull off having a pretty sketchy past, but not Captain America. And in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this still seems like a solid reason for Sam to get the role of Captain America over Bucky. We're not saying Bucky's a villain or that he's not an important character, but he doesn't quite pass the background check necessary to become Captain America. In his defense, the criteria is incredibly strict. As far as the barely there Bucky and Steve friendship in Endgame, there are a few possible explanations. One is that we all know Steve and Bucky love each other. There is no shortage of fan fiction out there about that. Just because we don't see them having long, heartfelt conversations doesn't mean they're not still pals. Endgame gave Cap a chance to focus on his other friendships, like those with Natasha Romanoff and Tony Stark. We also saw Steve's love for Peggy Carter play a large role in the movie and in Steve's ultimate fate. Yes, Steve and Bucky shippers, Steve and Peggy are the real OTP. We're sorry to inform you. Not only does Steve Rogers love Bucky Barnes, but the fans do too. For a character who spent a lot of time as a mind-controlled assassin, people really seem to like him. While we like Sam Wilson just fine, it seems like he's failed to generate the same level of fanfare that Bucky has. Making him the new Captain America could be a way of changing his role in the MCU and endearing him to fans who haven't yet been won over. Just like Bucky has always been there to help Steve out, we know he's going to do the same for Sam. They're involved in the Disney Plus series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we're assuming Disney may want to convert some Bucky fans over to Sam, or at least let them share the love a little bit. In the comic books, Bucky and Steve weren't presented as peers and best friends at first. There was a long period of time when Bucky was just the teenage sidekick to Captain America, but in the MCU, we've seen him presented as a steadfastly loyal friend. And that's what Sam is going to need as he gets used to being the new Captain America. Because, as we all know, taking on the role means more than simply learning to throw a shield around. But we're sure that's really hard too. Even though Steve has always made it look effortless. Bucky and Sam also haven't spent a ton of time on screen together, so we're definitely looking forward to seeing their relationship develop during their new streaming series. Sam Wilson may not have any super soldier serum to help him out, but hopefully Bucky's able to help smoothen the transition from Falcon to Captain America. What do you think about the decision to make Sam Wilson the new Captain America? Do you appreciate his appointment, or do you think someone else should have gotten the shield? Share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and then click on that subscribe button for more videos from us here at CBR. Bye for now.